fit. We're staying at room 13. Usually airy and usually berry, and that's just how my life goes. And I don't ever try to dress to impress. Fuck you, preppy asshole. On the 14th floor where the bathroom door don't lock. So happy we don't gotta worry about the cops. We could all get arrested for this, but when the police mix, I don't give a shit tonight. Alright. Now she walks in the bedroom fast, despite all the noise from the crowd. Now she's bedless on the bathroom sink. Her mother would be so proud. Gets on a deed and there's a line to go pee, but the bathroom looks like a war zone.
Forgot to hit a button. I do that every week. Same thing every week. Welcome to episode 175 of Phired Up. My name is Mike Gillette. Joining me as always, Dom Console. What's going on, man?
Yo, what's going on?
Not much. Thanksgiving has come and gone, and we officially enter Christmas season. Your favorite time of the year, I believe.
Yes. Well, October 31st to January 1st at midnight is my favorite time of the year. So,
Okay.
but the extra favorite time of the year is definitely this point in the season.
Yes, for sure.
And I will say this too: as much as I love Thanksgiving, it's my second favorite day of the year. Before I get to that, I've had enough of the leftovers for a whole year.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like leftovers can last you like what 3 days, 4
That's
days
what I'm
after
saying,
before you start getting tired of it.
I mean, like it was Sunday, and I was just like eating like the
Yeah.
last of it, and I was just like, I gotta throw this away.
Yeah,
I'm sick of it.
Yup, for sure. What's your? We talked about it the last couple years on here, but like your go-to, I guess top 2 or 3 Thanksgiving foods.
You know what? I think it's criminally underrated.
Okay.
I'm a turkeysman. I love turkey. I think turkey's really good.
It gets a bad rap, man.
It does get a bad rap. So I go turkey. I go mac and cheese. I go mashed potato. I'll throw some corn on the plate. I'm not like a huge like obviously like stuffing you don't really eat, like corn and mashed potatoes you could eat that all year, but like I'm not a big like stuffing guy or like
Stuffing's okay if it's like prepared correctly, but like
Yeah.
if like out of the stuff on the table on the spread, like I'm not gonna go out of my way to reach for the stuffing.
Okay. See, I'm not like a sweet potato guy either.
See, I love some sweet potatoes. My
I'm-
mom
I'm-
makes an insane sweet potato,
Which
like,
I've
casserole.
heard.
It's almost like a dessert. Like it's so good.
Yeah, I'm
Unreal.
not a big sweet potato guy. I'm not a big like green bean casserole kind of guy.
Okay.
I'm very like we could say it. I'm very white for Thanksgiving.
Yes. We had some
Um,
baked ziti. That was delicious too.
Okay, I fuck with baked. I love baked ziti. I fuck with baked ziti. But
So good.
But yeah, I don't know. And then the desserts. I had this like homemade pie that was like it was like a homemade pie crust with like this chocolate like mousse and peanut butter.
Okay. Ooh.
It was I took a piece home, and I was even better left over because you warm it up.
I was gonna say, I feel like you
Yeah.
have to, so this way the chocolate get a little melted. Like that sounds like chocolate and peanut butter sound good because obviously you get like the Reese's thing,
Sure.
but like when not done right, it can get very dry.
It was-
peanut
the
butter can
person-
get very dry.
The person who made it thought there was too much chocolate. I thought there was a perfect chocolate peanut butter
Okay.
ratio.
Okay.
And you just I popped it in the microwave. The leftover, I brought a piece home. I popped it in the microwave for like 25 seconds, and
Nice.
it was just as good as it was fresh.
Nice.
I like a banana cream pie. That's also a really good one.
My mom made a banana cream dip.
Yeah. Okay.
Delicious.
Yeah.
Unreal.
I'm not like a big apple pie guy. Or like
Are you in or out on pumpkin pie?
No, I'm not a pumpkin pie guy.
Dude.
I don't like cinnamon. We've already
We have
already
talked about this, but like, I didn't really like or appreciate or maybe even try pumpkin pie until about like 3 or 4 years ago, and I've been obsessed ever since. I love it. It's so good.
Yeah, I wish I liked cinnamon too. Like cinnamon sounds good. It smells good. It just doesn't taste good to me. So yeah, that's like the big reason why I'm
Okay.
out on pumpkin stuff.
Yeah, I guess that's fair. That's fair. But yeah, again, rolling right into your, our favorite time of year, Christmas.
Yep.
And I'm sure in the next few weeks we'll talk about, maybe we'll bring back like either a draft or a top 5, top 10, whatever, Christmas movies, music. We've done it before, but maybe things have changed.
Yeah, for sure.
So we'll have to do that in the next few weeks here. But let's kind of dive into. First off, I just want to like address the elephant in the room. Nobody, all 7 listeners here don't really give a shit about what happened last Thursday in our turkey bowl. Okay, but I'm just gonna address the elephant in the room. What a horseshit showing from me. It was terrible. It was not.
Hey.
It was not a good game.
I mean, listen, the elements were elementing.
The elements played a factor.
And it's just, we're 1 year older than we were last year. It gets a little bit harder every year.
Yep.
Um,
And I dropped the first pass on the first drive, and my quarterback lost total faith in me the rest of the game.
Yeah.
That's all I'll say.
Yeah. It was tough for me to move around too because I had one shoe.
I've never seen so many cleats break the way they were breaking on Thursday.
I've been wearing mine since like 2010.
I'm sure that's probably the case.
And I left them on my porch for like 2 months, so like that probably didn't help either.
Probably not.
But yeah, I got to get a new pair somehow, some way.
Yeah, I'm sure nowadays Amazon you could probably get a pair fairly cheap.
Yeah.
So let's where I wanted to open the show tonight. Obviously, the big thing going on right now, the Eagles are, I think, finally starting to get some buzz as like a legit Super Bowl contender. They beat the Ravens. Obviously, the Ravens with Lamar, and like they still get a ton of respect, and people thought this was kind of the toughest matchup so far that they've had. And the Eagles honestly just controlled the game. They just start to finish, they were in control the entire game. The defense, I think, played probably the best game I've seen from them all year. And listen, they've been, like, statistically speaking, the best defense in the league. Like they're a top defense, and I thought they played their ass off. The defensive line looked great. I thought all around, I think it was the best game the Eagles have played this year.
Yeah. I think you hit it on the nail right on the head, especially the defensive line. Being able to contain Lamar for the most part. I think Henry had a pretty decent game. But yeah, for the most part, I totally agree. Outside of like a couple plays here and there, which happen, I definitely agree. Remember, I don't know if you remember, we were talking in the group chat over text, and if the Ravens come out, what do? They kick the field goal in the first drive? They kicked the field goal in the first drive. The second drive, they come out. Andrews scores a touchdown. They missed the extra point.
The first drive, it looked like they were going to get a stop, and then Avonte Maddox is the bad hold on the third and long.
But the Ravens wind up kicking the field goal
later in the drive, correct? Yep.
And then the next drive, they come out. Andrews scores the touchdown. They missed the extra point. They're up 9-0.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you had texted basically that they've been a second half team, and I agreed. The last 2 or 3 weeks, they've really been the second half team, but it felt like the defense kind of kept them in the game for the first half. And I don't know if you remember, I texted you and I said, hopefully they adjust, meaning the defense. And they gave up 3 points the rest of the game. So they adjusted. That has a lot to do with Vic Fangio. That has a lot to do with the way the defensive line played. The better your defensive line plays, the better everybody else is going to play. So it helps out Quinyon Mitchell, who made a really nice play on Zay Flowers. It was it helps Blankenship, even though I don't necessarily agree with him covering a guy like Mark Andrews 1-on-1 for a lot of that game. It helps out Cooper DeJean, who comes up with big play after big play every week. So yeah, Jalen Carter is just going to be. I mean, he already is, but like he's just going to
The
be
terror.
even better.
Yeah.
What's really interesting about him too is like he's got that like Aaron Donald, Chris Jones kind of like swagger or like that kind of like ability almost. I mean, both guys are Hall of Famers. We don't know what Jalen Carter's going to be. He looks very good. It's still early, but once he figures out like how to scheme and like how to play multiple like once he figures out how to scheme throughout defenses, I think you'll start to see him move around a lot. Like I think you're going to see him be like a Chris Jones or a Aaron Donald who, yes, he's probably going to line up mostly on the inside, but there are going to be times where they're going to start matchup. They're going to start putting him. They're going to start scheming Jalen Carter against the weakest offensive lineman or offensive line guy that the offense has. So like if the weakest position is the left tackle or the right tackle, they're going to start putting him on that side halfway through the first quarter, and then they'll move him back inside, and then later on in the game they're going to move him back on the outside, and eventually he's probably going to get to that point. And just because I think he's going to be that good, and those guys don't fall off trees.
No, definitely not. And they got him. What were the 9th overall or something
9th or
like that?
10th.
Like yeah. No, I mean it turns out to be a great pick by Howie. So
Yeah, and they moved up a couple spots, I think, for
one
him.
spot, yeah.
Yeah.
One spot. Was it the Atlanta that I think they had the pick? Was it Atlanta? I think it was Atlanta.
I don't remember.
Yeah, they moved up from 10 to 9 or something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, he looks great. I thought the D line in general like played good. Like, how many times do they play a guy like Lamar or even like any kind of athletic quarterback, and it seems like they kind of shred the defense because they either can't get to him or for whatever reason. Like I thought they did a really good job, but like not letting Derrick Henry have a Derrick Henry game. Like he was fine, but I don't think he was his dominant self. And for the most part, containing Lamar. Like I thought the D line played a spectacular game. Well, they were great.
Yeah, up until the very, very end, the slop.
Yeah, but it's.
I mean, Henry had 82 yards. Henry had a decent game. Like
he did. Yeah, he did. But again, that last drive or last play, whatever, like. I don't know. You're just trying to kind of stop a touchdown there, and also there was like a blatant hold on that play that wasn't called. There were a lot of penalties I think that the officials missed in that game, to be honest. But
yeah.
I don't like blaming the like. That's all I saw online is like people constantly bitching and moaning about the refs, and I just don't go there because like I think every game we talked about it before. Every game, the refs are going to suck. Like you just have to expect it.
Yeah, I don't think that. In any sport, referee, umpire, whatever it is, I don't think one or two calls tells the whole story of a game, right?
Sure.
Like, unless it's the Super Bowl, but so yeah. What was I going to say here? Yeah, I don't remember, but yeah, I think Mitchell looks great. I think Cooper DeJean looks great.
I saw a stat.
It's just all coming together, I think, and I think Fangio kind of really deserves a lot of credit for that.
Yes. Hold on, I found a stat from. All right, so out of all the players that now I don't know how far you want me to kind of read this stat, but these are players that Quinyon Mitchell has gone against and how many yards. Have you seen this stat?
I think I sent it in our group chat like 2 weeks ago.
Oh,
or at least
of
what it was like 2 weeks ago.
So Drake London only 5 yards, Olave 23 yards, Mike Evans 19 yards, Cooper, who's that? Cup, I guess maybe.
No, Amari Cooper.
Sorry. 10 yards. Neighbors 9 yards. Jamar Chase 16 yards. Thomas 0 yards. CeeDee Lamb 5 yards. McLaurin 0. Nakua 14. Cup 5. Zay Flowers 0. Like the most he's allowed is 23 yards, and that's to Olave. Like those numbers are stupid.
And that might have been on like one play.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
It just kind of happens.
Oh yeah, breakdown happens. It's going to happen, but that's just. I mean, for a rookie to be that good that early, it's scary.
So the idea of like a cornerback having 0 stats is the most ideal thing, right? Like that's how you know a cornerback is good is when he has when you look at his stats and they're all zeros. It's because the quarterback is not looking his way. So like you don't hear Quinyon Mitchell's name. You don't hear Quinyon Mitchell's name. No, you're fine. You don't hear his name at all
Sure,
during.
which is a good thing.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I was not totally excited. I wasn't totally against the Quentin Mitchell pick, but I was not like super excited about it, and I was 100% wrong.
Yeah. No, he's been great.
I mean, I mean, it's so scary because we're not used to this, where we might have potentially in the same not count. Well, it can't be calendar year, but like, well, we could potentially have 4 rookies of the year: Matvey Michkov, Quentin Mitchell, Jared McCain, and possibly Andrew Painter.
Yeah. When you
I mean,
put
how
it that
sick is
way,
that?
I mean that would be kind of in a calendar year, no?
Well, I mean, like 2024. Like Painter would be
Okay.
2025.
Sure. Well, yeah.
But like the same like kind of like the same season.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they would be
August
all within 12 months of each.
2024. Yeah.
They would all be within 12 months of each
Yeah,
other, though.
of course.
But you see now you got me a little excited here. I'm not used to having nice things. Like usually
I'm saying.
we're a city that kind of buys its talent for the most part. Like we're not used to having these homegrown great players, rookie of the year type players. I don't know.
Right.
Like who's the last Philly sports athlete to win rookie of the year in any of the sports?
Ben Simmons won Rookie of the Year.
Did Wentz win? Nah, because he was in the starter. Was he his rookie year?
No, he was the start of the rookie
Was he?
year.
That's
Yeah.
when they traded Bradford. Yeah.
Yeah. It might be Ben Simmons. Have the Flyers ever had like a rookie?
I'm trying to think. I don't think Drew won it, and he's the last one I could think that
Could
would have.
potentially- Yeah. I don't think any Eagle. I think it's Ben Simmons.
I'm gonna have to do a quick Google search.
It's 2017, 2018 maybe. Because he was drafted in 16.
The Eagles. Have the Eagles never had one?
It's possible.
Because I don't even see. So I googled it and like nothing came up. So they might not ever even have one.
Oh, Mark just checked in. He said the Flyers. About the Flyers.
Did he? All right, hold on one second. Let me pull this up. Never heard a Calder one. That's what I thought. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to think. Eagles. I don't think the Eagles ever have either. The Sixers.
Ben Simmons, yeah.
Yeah. So it might be Ben Simmons.
You know, it's funny. So we were just talking about how like having Michkov, Jared McCain, Quentin Mitchell / Cooper DeJean, and possibly Andrew Painter. If you go back to the 2016 year, you had all within a month or two of each other, Nolan Patrick, Ben
Carson
Simmons,
Wentz, Nolan
Carson
Patrick.
Wentz, yeah, and Mickey Moniak.
Right. Hopefully these 4 turn out a lot better than those 4 did. God forbid. I don't think I could go through that twice.
Yeah.
We
seem okay though.
I think so.
Right.
We seem in much better shape than we were in 2016. Although I don't think anybody expected it to fall off a cliff for like Carson Wentz or like I don't think nobody expected like I don't think anybody expected Fultz to be like an all-star, but I don't think anybody expected it to end that poorly either.
No, I thought Fultz was going to be generational, personally.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I did. I was so wrong about that, but I don't think that was all him. So.
Well, yeah, there's
the
other
organization
stuff there.
Yeah, kind of failed him a little bit, but
well, the organization's good at failing players.
Yeah.
Look at this season specifically.
Look at the last 7 seasons. Specifically.
Right? Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Look at the last decade.
I was gonna say, forget the last decade. Look at fucking since 1983.
Well, yeah. I mean, I was gonna say it's it's 2001 or whatever.
But they didn't put anybody next to Iverson.
Yeah,
for
I was gonna
years.
say they failed Iverson. Like,
Right. I mean, Giroux was never on the same I guess like pedestal or like he was never as good as Iverson was as a basketball player. But it was a similar thing. Like they never put anybody next to Iverson. Like they never put anybody next to Giroux. Like and I think Wayne Simmons and Voracek were good players. Like, but they
put Yager next to him for a year, and that was big.
Yeah, but he was like 40. Like
yeah,
you know what I mean? Like put somebody real, like young, like that's
right.
he had good players next to him, like I said, Wayne Simmons and
Yeah.
Timo Timonen.
Well,
and,
the problem with the Giroux era is they never built a defense that could sustain like a deep playoff run.
right.
Like they just they
They overspent on Brzgalov. They
Brzgalov and
traded,
Andrew McDonald
yeah.
and yeah.
They traded what's his face, Bobrovsky.
Yep.
So and they just never really had a goalie. So like after
No.
that, they did, but
Well,
he's in a lot of trouble right now.
yeah. Is he even playing anywhere right now?
Oh,
I don't
no.
know. I don't think he is.
Probably.
Well, there was rumors he was going to like go play in Russia.
Good for him.
They'll take anybody.
Yeah.
I think two or three of the guys from that case are in Russia, I believe.
The Gulag League is. Whew,
Yep.
that's the prison.
Mm-hmm.
Gulag is prison.
Yes, it is. So back to the Eagles. Where? Because I'm trying to phrase this the right way. Where do you have them in terms of teams in the NFC? Because right now I think it's really a 2-horse race, and I think you can make an argument they're number one, or you can also make an argument they're number two. Where do you have the Eagles right now?
Let me look at this really quick. I want to see who
Okay.
the Lions have played.
Their division's
started
slightly
4-1.
better. Their division's slightly better for
Sure.
what it's worth. Not much, marginally maybe.
So
But-
I think the Rams are better than what the record says. So they've beaten the Rams.
Mhm.
They lost to the Bucks. Stink. They lost to the Bucks. They beat the Cardinals, which the Cardinals are actually like
They're fine.
potentially could possibly sneak in.
Yeah, they're fine.
Yeah, they beat the Cardinals. They beat the Seahawks. The Seahawks are not.
They're fine too.
Yeah,
they're not.
they're the same thing.
okay.
They're 7-5. Like
Yeah,
they could possibly squeak in. They beat the Cowboys. The Cowboys stink. The Vikings. They beat the Vikings. The Vikings are
they're kind of
are
a
a
middle
real
team
team.
too.
yeah.
Well,
When I say a real team,
they're-
I mean a playoff team.
They're a real
Like,
team.
playoff.
Sure, they're a real team. I still think they need a quarterback because Sam Darnold is not it.
Well,
in
I
my
just mean for
opinion.
this season. I just mean for this
Sure.
season. The Titans they demolished. The Titans stink.
Titans are terrible. Yeah,
The Packers they beat, which
Packers
I
are
think the Packers
good.
are real.
yeah.
They beat the Texans. I think the Texans are the most overrated team in football.
Dude,
personally.
I enjoy watching the Texans. Like I think CJ Stroud's a really good player. Not having a great year this year.
He's not having a great year.
I think Nico Collins is great.
Amazing.
I
don't know
think
how-
the defense is kind of up and coming, but they've had a rough year in
So
Houston.
I don't know if you remember. I told you before the season started. My hot take was the Texans don't make the playoffs. They will make the playoffs, but you got to remember.
Well, they definitely. What's their record?
um
Like I don't know if they're like
8
a
and 5.
lock. Are they in 5? Okay.
yeah they'll make the playoffs.
Yeah, they'll make the playoffs. Sorry, never mind.
So I told you I didn't think they were going to make the playoffs. I thought they would take a step back, because you have to remember like they made the playoffs last year on the last play of the game of the last week of the season.
Sure.
So
Their division also.
I just
stinks.
I just don't understand like how you get better. Like they improved their team on
Yep.
paper, and they're not as good as they were last year. so-
Diggs was great until he got hurt.
Yeah. So they beat the Texans. They absolutely dismantled the Jags.
Jags.
They beat the Colts.
Colts are like a tweener team. I don't think the Colts are all that good though.
The Colts aren't going to make the playoffs.
No.
They're a game under 500.
Yeah.
And then they squeak one out against the Bears on Thursday, which they could have potentially lost.
One of the
Completely.
most bizarre, not even bizarre, just idiotic ways to end that football game.
It was weird.
Like
was
that
weird.
play ended with like 25 to 30 seconds left, and all you had to do was run another quick 5-second play, and like they take that all the way down to like 5 seconds and snap the ball, and then
Dude, you can even
it's
like,
inexcusable.
you have time to run like 3 plays if you really want to.
Right? Yeah.
Well, not even one. You get back to the line of scrimmage, you throw one, get out of bounds. Listen, it's a lot to
You
get.
didn't even have.
throwing.
You
Well,
didn't have
well,
the,
No,
sure.
no,
go
what
ahead.
I'm saying is, you have enough time to run 3 plays if you can get out of bounds and use one of those 2 of those three plays to get out of bounds and one of them a timeout.
Mhm.
You can potentially score. Like you can potentially win the game. You
Yep.
don't have to go. You could play for overtime, but like they do either.
Well, no, I think the field goal would have won them the game.
No, they
Would it not have?
20.
Was it 23-20? For some
Yeah.
reason, I thought it was a 2-point game. But still, but you're right. Either way,
That would have
like
been even worse. If
right. But either way, it's just like I know their coach got fired, and like they're not gonna cut ties with Caleb Williams this early into his career. But like that's just as much on Caleb Williams as it is on the head coach.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I hear what you're saying. I don't know if it's as much, but he's a rookie quarterback. I mean, it happens. You know,
Yeah,
I just think your coach. I think the problem with the Bears, and listen, I don't watch all the Bear games. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to sit here and say I know 100% what's wrong with the Bears, but like, I think a head coach is supposed to make sure that the quarterback knows how to do those, or knows that makes sure that the quarterback knows what to do in those situations. I
sure.
think that there's been a laundry list of things that have been wrong with this team that point to the head coach. So like, I think that's why he gets a lot of the blame for what happened in that game on Thursday. But
Mm-hmm.
somebody tweeted out and said, "Don't worry, Bear fans. Your new head coach is right across the other sideline, meaning the offensive coordinator. I don't think he
Okay.
goes to the Bears, but the offensive coordinator for the Lions he will have his choice of jobs next year.
Yeah, if he wants it, I mean, I don't know.
No, I'm saying that's what I'm saying. Like if
Yeah.
there's 5 vacancies, all 5 are going to try to interview him, and he's going to have the pick of the litter
Yeah.
of whoever he wants to go. But going back to your original question, I think the Eagles have beaten 3 teams. I think they've had 3 really, really good wins this year against 3 really good teams, and that's the Ravens, that's the Packers, and I even think the Rams was a good win personally. But I wouldn't say that's the third one. What was the third one?
I hope you're not going Bengals because they stink.
No.
Like,
No,
I, like I,
Commanders.
think-
I'm sorry, the Commanders.
who? Okay, I mean,
I think
yeah.
those 3/4 wins are very, very legit. I think
Yeah.
the Rams are, like I said earlier, I think the Rams are better than their schedule or better than their record shows. But yeah, I think those 3/4 are very, very legit. And I don't know. I guess let's look at the back of the lines again. I mean, like, and I know that doesn't tell the whole story, but like, I think beating the Rams again is kind of real. Beating the Vikings is real. Beating the Packers is real. So like, it's I don't know because I haven't seen the Lions play outside. Like, I know
Yeah.
that's a crazy thing, but like
Sure.
that's real.
All right, let's go. Let's do it this way. Quarterback. Do you Goff or Hurts?
This year overall,
Who would you trust more right now?
I think Goff does more for his team, but I think I'd rather have Hurts because of the mobility.
Okay.
So I'll go
running-
Hurts.
Okay, running back. So
I think the Eagles have the best running back. I think that they have a better running back room. So I'll see. It's tough. I'll go Lions.
it's tough. It's a tough one. It's a
I'll
tough
go
one.
Lions because I genuinely think Barkley's the best of all of them. I just think Montgomery and Gibbs are not very
It's
far.
an elite
behind.
duo. Yeah, it's an
Yeah.
elite duo.
So I'll go Lions.
Receiving core. So
Big-
you have
Yeah.
Eagle. Yeah, I was say Devontae and
Jameson
and AJ
Williams
Brown
is
and-
good. Jameson's Williams good. Sam
I'm
Brown,
on Ross St. Brown's great too.
top 6 receiver.
Sure.
Even Reynolds is like a nice player. They have some, but it's not Devontae and AJ.
Yeah. Tight end. I would go Lions.
He's been really bad this year, though.
Yeah, but like,
I agree.
especially now that it sounds like Goddard's out for weeks.
Why is he out for weeks?
I just read earlier that he's hurt.
Is he
hold
hurt?
on. Yeah, hold on. Let me see where I got this. After an MRI, this is coming from Jeff McClain. After an MRI,
Oh, yeah,
MRI
sure.
Eagles tight end Dallas Goddard's knee injury will likely sideline him on a week-to-week basis.
Could be a
is-
candidate for short-term IR. Okay, I understand what you're saying. I
This is
totally.
a guy that's never healthy. He's never on
No,
the
I
field.
understand. But I just think that as of today, I think Goddard might be better because
Then Laporta, you think so?
yeah,
Okay.
Laporta really hasn't had a very good year.
Yeah, I get you.
I just think when Goddard's on the field that he's been better.
Okay. I'm not gonna pretend to act like I know, like I've watched the Lions'
Very close.
offensive line,
It's
so I'm
very
not
close.
gonna. The offensive line.
Yeah, it's very close.
Okay.
I think the Eagles have the edge, but I think it's closer than people
Okay.
would like to admit.
And then let's just go just defense in general. I mean, you got to go Eagles
Well,
at this point.
I think I don't think I think you have to go by position. I think defensive
Okay,
line.
go ahead. Yeah,
I
go
think
ahead.
defensive line is very close because Hutchinson is out. I
Yep.
think if Hutchinson is in, I think the Lions have
That's
way better.
such. I know it happened weeks ago, but that's such a big loss for them.
Yeah,
It sucks.
it's a big blow.
He's a great player.
But I think with the way the Eagles have been playing every week, I feels like the D line has gotten better. I'm gonna go the Eagles. I think the cornerbacks, the Eagles smoke the Lions. I think the safety position is where the Lions smoke the Eagles.
Yeah.
And I think the Eagles have good safeties, but I think they have two of the top 7 safeties in the league.
Yeah.
In what's it, Branch and I forget the other guy's name, but both very young, 3-4 years in the league, both of them. So yeah.
Okay.
And linebackers, I would say the Eagles.
Yeah.
Oh.
All right. I mean, based on what we just did, it sounds like pretty close, but it sounds like we lean Eagles are the better team today.
Probably, but I just think the Lions are so good that it just depends on the day.
Sure. Oh yeah. No, I don't think.
Yeah.
I think it's interchangeable. I think.
But
if these two teams played 10 times, they might each win 5. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But I also think they have a better head coach, and I think they have a better offensive coordinator, and I think we have a better defensive coordinator. So.
Okay. Yeah, I don't disagree with that.
I it's hard to say head coach because neither of the head coaches do much.
No.
For either team.
They're quote unquote motivators, right? They get the guys playing.
That's what I'm saying. I mean actual
X's and O's.
Yeah.
Sure. Holy shit, he called that. Are you watching this game? This is a game that I couldn't care less about, by the way. Browns Broncos.
Yeah.
Although I think Bo Nix is better than I think people thought he was. He's played pretty well this year. You're one of them.
Yeah.
You're one of many though.
Yeah, but I don't know, the
It's
6 year is just,
I mean, I think he's a front runner to win offensive player of the year. I'm sorry, offensive rookie of the year. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
That's what I meant. Yeah. I think he has a better chance than Jaden Daniels right now. Again, still a lot of time left, but Jaden Daniels.
I mean, we're getting to the point where and we can obviously talk about that too, the whole MVP thing. I think we're getting to the point where we're starting to weed out the third and fourth and fifth option at
right.
MVP. And I think the same thing with offensive and defensive player of the year and rookie of the year. I think we're getting to the point where we're filtering in and out who is going to get there at the end. And I mean, obviously that Bo Nix may win it. I'm not even sure. I don't even know what the odds are for.
Yeah, I'm not sure, to be honest with you.
Who would be up there?
Let me see if I can find it.
But that could lead into conversation about.
Well, we could go there. MVP.
Yeah,
we could go there. I mean, when's the last time a running back's won it? Probably Peterson, which was 2012. Yeah. So I don't think Barkley will get it, but I think he has a case.
I think he's the clear-cut number 2.
Do you? So you think he has a better chance to win it than Hurts?
The MVP?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
I don't know. Again, I don't know what the odds are for that either. But
I'll look.
I imagine Josh Allen is 1, Barkley's 2, Lamar is 3, and I think we're getting to the point where you're filtering out you're filtering out who is and isn't in that race, and I think it's starting to get clear.
They don't even have Rookie of the Year awards listed. The only thing for some reason FanDuel has is MVP and Offensive Player of the Year. They're the only 2 things you can vote on right now for some reason.
Okay.
Very odd. But MVP, right now, Josh Allen is the heavy favorite, minus 280.
Yeah.
Saquon is second, plus 500. Lamar's 3, plus 850. Patrick Mahomes plus 1,500, Jared Goff plus 1,500, and then the next one, Jordan Love plus 6,500.
Yeah, it's very, very clear that the top 2 guys are the ones.
And then, just in case you're interested in this, for the offensive player of the year, Saquon is a heavy favorite. Heavy.
because he's not going to win MVP.
Minus 500.
Yeah, he's probably not going to win MVP, so he's probably going to win Offensive Player of the Year.
Minus 500. Derrick Henry's the next best odds at plus 420.
Okay.
That's like a ridiculous favorite right there.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I think Josh Allen wins the MVP as long as they keep playing the way they do. Like I said, it's going to be very hard for somebody to come in. Like Lamar has not been the same guy he was the first 8 or 9 weeks, the last 3 or 4 weeks.
yeah,
So I think he's kind of out of the conversation now, and I think that those other two guys are up there. And I just think that if Barkley doesn't break the record, I think even if he does, and Allen still plays this way, I think there's still a potential for Allen to win the MVP. But I think Josh Allen's the MVP, and I think Barkley's Offensive Player of the Year personally.
okay.
I just think that the MVP is like a quarterback.
Oh, it totally is, but like, it's hard to say if Barkley's more valuable
I'll tell you
to
why.
the Eagles than Allen, because if you take Allen off that team, they're
Yeah.
they're not a playoff
They're
team.
not a team. They're not a good team.
But
My
at the same
thing
time, yeah, the Eagles are probably a playoff team, but I don't know if they're like top 2 in the
Well-
conference
Well,
without Barkley.
I agree with that, but I think that's the reason why it makes him the Offensive Player of the Year and not the MVP. And I also think that, let's say you take Barkley off this team, right, and you throw in DeAndre Swift, who's a good running back.
Sure.
I think if you switch those guys, I think that yes, maybe the Eagles. I do think Barkley's a big reason why they're 11-2. I think he's probably the biggest reason, right? Like offensively. But I think if you take him off this team and you put like a guy like Swift or whoever, like a good running back, not a great running back, a good running back, I think that you can look at the team and say, I think you look at the team and say, well, they have Jalen Hurts, they have AJ Brown, they have Dallas Goedert, they have a top offensive line, they have one of the top defenses. They have Devontae Smith, like, you know, they're supposed to be good. Like it's, so I think that's the difference between Josh Allen being the MVP and Saquon Barkley. I think if you take Josh Allen off that team, they're not very good.
No, I agree. I was reacting to who's playing quarterback for the Browns. Is it Jameis now?
Yeah, it's been Jameis. Yep.
It just threw a dreadful pick six. The Browns stink. They're terrible.
Well, yeah. I need Sutton to play well.
Well,
He's got
yeah.
3 for 43, but
It's unlikely at this point
unlikely what?
that he's just going to play well. I mean, they're up big at the end of the first half. Who knows? I guess
10.
yeah, I know, but this is a game that could get away from you quick.
I just need another like 30-yard catch, and
All right,
I'm
I'll
good.
root that in for you.
It's for fantasy purposes. I am. There's 8 teams. I'm the 7 seed. Top 6 make the playoffs. We have one more week next week.
How do 6 teams make the playoffs in an 8-team league?
I don't know. I don't make the rules. I'm the 7
Like,
seed.
4 teams should make it. Like half
I'm
the
the-
league.
Yeah. Well, our league has 6. Our
What league?
family league.
Does that have 6? Is that how
Yeah.
many teams are in that?
8.
Oh, all right. Well, fair
So 7. So I'm the 7 seed. The 6 seed and 5 seed have one more win than me. So they're 5 and 7. I'm 4 and 8.
enough. Okay.
I won this week, so I need one of those. I need to win out, and I need one of those 2 to lose out because I'm not going to beat them by points. So I need one of those teams won, and one of the other teams is going against Sutton right now, and he's up by 3.
Oh shit.
Yeah. So
And
if
Sutton's the only guy in the game.
Sutton's the only guy for
So
the
if the guy you need to lose wins, then you're done.
I'm done.
You're done.
Yeah.
Okay. That would
No
suck.
matter what happens. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
that's-
I just need Sutton to catch like a 30-yard pass and then like take him out of the game.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard for a receiver to have minus points, but
You never know.
yeah, like a fumble or like
right.
minus yardage, but
Do like,
yeah,
an
so
end,
then-
do like an end around and somehow lose 10 yards.
yeah. Actually, Chris and I are actually on a team in this league.
Okay. Okay.
So I need to win. I need him to lose this week, and then next week I need to win. I need this guy to lose too.
Okay.
Spoiler
You
alert:
have
it's
to.
my brother-in-law.
Okay. All right. So when Sutton gets his 30 yards, I'll send you guys a group text.
All right.
You and your brother-in-law. Be like, "Guys, Sutton, great player." So, all right. Anything else for the Eagles before we kind of move on here? They have Carolina. That's Sunday, right? They play.
Carolina Sunday 1:00. Then they have Pittsburgh 1:00.
Carolina's playing a little better, but they still stink.
Yeah.
Should be able to take care of business, Sunday. I mean, if you believe in trap games, I guess maybe it'll be tougher than they want it to be. But you take care of business against the Panthers on Sunday.
Also the good thing about the remaining schedule, so it started this past week against Baltimore. They no longer have to get on a plane unless playoffs.
Yeah.
Unless they have to go to Detroit or go to New Orleans. So, four of the last 5 are at home, and they go to Washington. So, I really need that game to be flexed, by the way. That Washington game.
What is it right now?
1:00 Sunday the 22nd, I think it is.
Okay.
I really need that game to be flexed.
Why?
To 4:30 or Sunday.
Why only 1:00?
No, I'm fine with 1:00. It's I have something to do that day.
Oh.
So I have to go to a meeting it's for New Year's. I have to go to a meeting for New Year's for the parade.
Yep.
It's at 1:30 the meeting. So I could watch the game there, but during the meeting I can't, So
how long could this meeting possibly be though?
Oh no, it's probably 15 minutes, but I still have to go. I have to pick up my suit. I have to wait in line. I have to pay. I have to
See, this is my problem with this whole Mummers Parade. That seems like too much work.
Then don't do it.
Well, that's why I don't.
Okay. So then the meeting starts at 1:30, and then as soon as the meeting's over, so it's this thing called Hat Day, Kazoo Day. It's usually the Sunday before Christmas, and it's like a celebration day. Basically the string bands come out and they do half of their performance for everybody, and then it's just a day to drink. And it used to be a bigger thing, and then COVID came and it kind of wiped that day out a little bit. So we do our meeting that day. So usually I'll stick around for a little while to hang out, but if the Eagles don't flex, I'm just gonna go get my shit, do the meeting, and bounce.
You South Philadelphians are always looking for reasons to drink. I'll tell you that.
I mean, is that a bad thing?
No, not at all. All right, fair enough. What else? What else you want to talk about tonight? There's really not much Phillies going on.
No,
Probably was kind of waiting for something to happen.
Yeah, they're saying Soto possibly mid-December because Boris has 1 million. What do you call it? Clients. So, hopefully that happens soon.
Yep.
I think he goes back to the Yankees, but I would love to see him
too.
go to Boston, but that's just me.
Yeah.
That would be a lot of fun.
It would be.
What else? Do you think Flyers? The Flyers are playing good.
Flyers are playing really well. Yep.
Yeah.
They're playing really well. Mitchkov with an overtime goal this weekend.
And
he's been really good.
It looks like they've found a goalie, right?
Or two.
Kind of.
They both, ever since Erskine went down, they've both been playing really well. Now Erskine apparently is really close to being back. So I don't know if they're gonna carry 3 goalies or send one of them down. No, I mean the only one you can send down is Kolosov.
Right.
Really.
Do you have to release Fedotov?
What do you mean?
Why can't you send him down? I'm not sure.
Well, you technically, I guess you could, but he's a guy that would have to clear waivers.
Okay.
And I don't believe Kolosov does.
Right.
If I'm not mistaken. So if you send Fedotov down, then you're at risk of losing him.
Did they carry 3 goalies for a couple for a week, didn't they? Before Erskine got hurt?
Maybe did they? Yeah, I think they did. But
I think that's
teams don't like doing it.
Yeah. But I think that was before. What's his name? Andre or
yeah.
I think
Andre came up because I think what's his name? Jamie Drysdale got hurt, I believe.
Right. I think it was around the same time, if I'm not mistaken. But
yeah,
it makes sense to not hold 3 goals. I mean, in theory.
Yeah, because how do you alternate starts? Things become real weird when you got 3 goalies.
And also it's better to just have bodies
right. Yeah,
on the ice.
Right.
Not that are not goalies, but but yeah, dude, it's criminal that they don't play till Thursday. I know they play back to back Friday, Saturday, but I gotta wait till Thursday to watch again. Like,
I know. And who do they have
bad.
Thursday?
I think they're home. The Devils, maybe. I might have made that up.
I'm looking. There's only 3 games on tonight.
Oh, Florida.
Florida Thursday.
Yeah. And then they go to Boston on Saturday.
Yep, Saturday, Sunday they play.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're playing well. I believe they're in a playoff spot right now. I mean, it's way too early to be
Yeah.
talking
the last wild
playoffs,
card, right?
but yeah, last wild card spot.
Right next to the Rangers.
And that could change a million times from now to the end of the season.
It will.
Obviously, but,
Yeah.
yeah, right. But no, the Torts hasn't playing well, and I know a few weeks ago I said on this show that I'm done with him. I believe is what I said. But yeah, it's he hasn't playing well. That's for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and then the Sixers are still a mess.
We can end on that note.
Yeah, they're a mess. I mean, I don't know.
There's nothing else to say.
They're nothing. Embiid's still not playing. Like they won't even say like, what's going on there. Like nobody
It's
knows.
so funny because realistically, how much have you watched of the Sixers this year?
Have I? That's a
Realistically,
good question. I don't know that I've watched a second, to be honest with you.
it's so funny because I've probably watched 30 more minutes than you this year. This whole
That's
year.
how out you are on the Sixers.
Yes.
Okay.
In what are they? 15 games into the season, something like that.
Is there what's their record right now? 3-13, something like that.
They're 4-14.
4-14. Is there a chance that one of or both Nurse and Morey get fired mid-season?
I don't think so.
Because this is an abysmal start.
I think they wait till the end of the year for either, but I think Morey is more likely to get fired.
Think so?
Yeah.
I think if Morey gets fired, I think they both go. Because I always think it's weird when like GMs get fired and coaches stay. Because like 9 times out of 10, the new guy is gonna want to find his guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, probably. But I don't think Nurse is like a. I think Nurse is like one of the more respected coaches.
I mean, sure, he definitely is.
I think a lot of teams would be lucky to have, like, a lot of teams and James would feel lucky to have a guy like that. I think it's one of those rare situations where like you go somewhere because okay, well they have Nick Nurse, like that's a really good, with as many negatives as there are with the Sixers, there are some positives. Like I think Nick Nurse is a positive. I think having young Jared McCain is a positive. I think having Max is like a positive. It's just the other
stop there.
Guys. Yeah, it's just the other two guys that, the other two old guys that can't stay on the court that are getting paid $1 billion.
You can't even like trade him at this point, Joel.
You can, but like
for what though?
Right, like that's again we've talked about this like a million times. Like it's
sure.
What are you gonna get that's
Nothing.
worth it?
Nothing.
No. I do think there are teams that would overpay, but like you're never gonna get what you want for him because he is so talented. But like he's never going to win.
No, you'll get like I'm just pivoting here. You'll get like a bench piece and a pick swap, like something like. I don't know. You're gonna get. You think you get more than that for Joel Embiid?
Yeah,
for this current version of Joel Embiid.
I definitely. I think the problem is, what team is going to be good enough to trade for 30-year-old, 31-year-old Joel Embiid? Like, I don't know what's a really good, like Dallas, like right, like if Dallas calls and says, "Hey, we want Joel Embiid," like, but we're not giving up Luka. Like, what the fuck does Dallas have that
right
are going to be excited about, other than like first round picks? But like. They could give you 4 first-round picks for him, 5 first-round picks, but like, what are they going to be, late first-round picks? Like,
right.
There's nothing of value to that, and like, but then if you look at Charlotte, like, why is Charlotte going to give up 5 first-round picks? For an aging center who can't stay healthy, who could put them over the top because I think that they are potentially a couple bench pieces and like a huge name away from like actually being really good.
Yeah.
They have 2 really good young players. Like, but why would they do that? Like, there's really no situation where like it
No,
makes
a Joel Embiid trade makes 0 sense.
yeah.
I don't think for anybody, because like the Sixers I'm sure would want to unload him, but like you're never, like you said, you're never gonna get the value you want,
Yeah.
and a team's not gonna give you. It just doesn't make sense on both sides.
Funny enough, I actually think a Paul George trade is still a possibility.
What was that contract he signed?
4 years?
Was it 4 years?
Yeah, they maxed them.
Jesus.
I don't know the money. It was over 2, but it was like 4 years, 2 something. The thing with him is, I think you just have if you're going to trade him, I think you have to wait till the offseason, because I think there are teams that are willing to give him that money for 3 years and not 4. Listen, I understand they'd rather have the first 3 years of that 4-year deal,
Sure.
but I think if Golden State could call at the end of the year and in the offseason and say, hey, we'll give you picks and like
Yeah, he's
player
probably easier to trade than Embiid, I would think.
yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what they do. We'll see. They play tonight or tomorrow?
They're not playing tonight. I think they do play tomorrow.
Tomorrow. So I'm curious what happens. I mean, at this point, I know it's early. Playoffs. Talking playoffs. They're not making the playoffs at this point. They just have to go on a tear that like I don't know that they're capable of.
Yeah, because of health. Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. When they're all healthy, sure. I mean, Embiid has enough talent. We've seen it, but at this point, so Embiid's played how many games? 4?
No, I think it's more than that.
Is it more than that? I thought it was
Not
4.
much.
I thought it was like 4 of 19 or 6 of 19, something like that.
Yeah, he is 4. Yeah, 4 games.
Over under games played on the season. 15. Does he play 15 games or more, or do you think he's done for the year?
He plays more. No, I think he plays more. I just I don't know what the number over under is going to be, because again, we don't know how bad that injury is.
That's what I'm saying. Like they're so.
But like it's injury management right now. It's not.
Can you afford that though when you're 4-14?
Well, no, but I'm not saying for that reason. I'm just saying in general. Like if we're just talking about over under, like the only thing you can believe is what they're telling you. So like right now they're telling you that it's injury management. It's not like a real, he didn't hurt himself. I said on the show, did I say on the show 2 weeks ago? I think this is it. Like I think I don't think you're ever going to see the same guy. Were we talking about this?
We might. Probably.
Well, I don't think you're ever going to see the same guy that you've seen before. I think that this knee injury is going to be it for him. I don't think I'm not saying he's going to be like a bad player, but like I think this is the big one that like is just the end of his dominance, and it was just a short-lived like 3-4 years where he was just the best player in the world.
Right, and if this is it, it happened fast.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of like Ryan Howard. Like when it happened, it happened. Like
yeah,
it wasn't really a gradual decline. It just kind of happened.
Yeah. Well, I think I think his is a gradual decline because for injuries, not. I know what you mean by ability.
Right.
But yeah, I think it's over. I think he's done.
Done being an elite top of
Yeah.
the tier basketball player. Okay.
Yeah, because of the injuries.
But but he's still a starter. You think?
Yeah.
Instead of a top 5
I-
player, maybe top 30.
Oh, I think he can still be a top like 20. I
Okay.
do. I just don't see him averaging 33, 32, 30, 31 anymore.
Well, if he wants to stick around,
more...
he's gonna have to even just forget about
Yeah.
ability for a second. He's just gonna have to change the way he plays.
Yeah. No, we
if he
talked
wants to
about
stick
it.
around. Yeah.
It's I just think you see him more around like 23, 24, 25 mark.
Yeah.
Which is still really good, but
Sure.
yeah, I just don't think he's going to be that same dominant kind of guy that he was for those 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
So,
All right. You have
talking
anything
way
else?
more Sixers than I expected.
Well, there's not a whole lot going on right now. Like,
Yeah.
Again, like I said earlier, we're waiting for the Philly stuff to happen. Flyers are winning games and doing their thing. Like, there's not a whole lot going on right now.
Yeah. Well, if we can go back to the Flyers for a sec.
Yeah, go ahead.
So this trade that happened
Mm-hmm.
with Columbus and
Minnesota.
Minnesota.
Mm-hmm.
What are your thoughts on that? Because I the only thing I know about him is what's his name?
David Juracek.
The only thing I know about him is a defenseman
Mm-hmm.
who was
He was
taken
drafted.
higher in the league.
He was drafted sixth
Higher than that.
overall in 20. Was it 2022? I think it was 2022.
Right
What?
after Gauthier, right?
Yeah. Hold on. I could have that date wrong because I think the date's important. Let me see here. He was drafted in 2022. Yeah, I was right. Yeah, I believe that was the Gauthier draft. So I saw a lot of Flyers fans up in arms that the Flyers didn't trade for him. Because so the trade was he went to Minnesota for Damon Hunt, which is
How do
like
you?
a
What's his name again?
David Juracek.
Yeah.
Yeah, David Juracek.
Okay. Go ahead.
Um, so the trade was, if I could have some things wrong on this, but it was something along the lines of like Damon Hunt, which is like a mid tier prospect, nothing great. A first round pick, top 5 protected. I believe a second and a third round pick spread
I got it
over
right
the
here.
next couple years for David Juracek and like a 5th round pick. Did I have that right?
So okay, so we have he was traded from the Blue Jackets to the Wild in exchange for Damon
Damon Hunt. Yep.
Damon Hunt and 4 draft picks, including a first round pick in the 2025 NHL draft. That's all it says.
Yeah, I think it was the first, second, third, and maybe a 4th or a 5th, something like that.
Yeah.
I think so. I saw a lot of Flyers fans up in arms about it. Where I'm at is like the development hasn't been there. Because if Columbus saw something special in David Juracek, again, he's in their camp. They see him firsthand, whatever. If they saw something special, they wouldn't put a guy like that available. They wouldn't make a guy like that available. So clearly, there's something that he's not doing, or that they see that isn't going to make him an elite player that they don't think. So again, just because he was drafted 6th overall doesn't mean he's going to be a great player.
Right.
Another thing is, right now the blue line for the Flyers is already pretty deep and crowded. Like they just sent Helge Grans back, and does Juracek have a higher ceiling than Grans? Yeah, sure, probably. There's no debating that. But Grans played pretty well in the time that he was up here. And like I said, the blue line's already crowded. Adding another guy to that, I don't know, makes a whole lot of sense. In my opinion, I think. And listen, I saw I saw arguments of like, Briere's got to be aggressive, and if you want to kind of speed the rebuild up, like you got to stay aggressive, and I get that. I just think center is such a bigger need, in my
I think
opinion.
you have to stay aggressive for the right guys.
Oh, sure, exactly. And I don't know that David Juracek was the right guy. And not to mention, according to Elliot Freeman, it sounds like Columbus preferred to trade him to the West and didn't want to trade him to the East, let alone to somebody in the division. So if the Flyers wanted to trade for him, they were going to have to give up more. That's just how those things work.
Yeah.
But again, I think center is a much bigger priority right now, in my opinion. So I have no problem trading one of the first from either trading the Colorado first or the Edmonton first. Like I have no problem trading either of those firsts, but it needs to be for the right player. And
Yeah.
I think it starts looking for a center.
So I think that also there's also the thought, the first thing that I thought of why they didn't trade for him was do you think that they didn't want the same thing to happen with Drysdale, where like they traded for him, there's potential, and like he just might not be. Listen, I know Gauthier is not having like the year that or having the start of his career that people maybe imagined, but like it feels like at this point they got beat because we kind of maybe already know Drysdale's ceiling, where Gauthier kind of still has potential to like become something bigger.
So I think there's something to that. I don't know if that's necessarily the reason, but I think there's something to the fact that like hey, we just traded for Drysdale. Oh, what a year ago, half year ago, however, whatever it ended up being.
January,
Yeah,
whatever it was.
we just traded for Drysdale. Drysdale's already a project that we have to try to fix. Do we want another one of those?
Yeah. Also, too, I mean, like we were saying, like Sanheim's playing great. York has played really well.
Mhm.
Andre's played really well.
Andre's been great.
It's but they also have Bonk like potentially
Mhm.
coming up in the next year or two. Like,
Yep.
and then I mean, do you think they trade Ristolainen?
I think it's possible. I think it depends on kind of where they're at in the play in the standings come trade deadline. Like I think Ristolainen would get you a decent trade at the deadline, just because like he's a big body, he's playing pretty well.
I got a hypothetical for you.
Okay, go ahead.
Trade deadline comes. They're
Mhm.
kind of in that position where they are now, like maybe the last wild card seed, maybe like a couple points out from a wild card spot, whatever. The trade deadline comes, and you could get a first round pick for Ristolainen.
Well, that's basically what they did last year,
Right.
right? They were pretty much
They
in a
traded
playoff
Steeler.
spot or right around the playoff spot. You trade
I'm
Sean
not
Walker.
Steeler. Walker.
Yeah,
That's what I meant.
Sean Walker. And he's probably the reason he missed the playoffs because they traded him, and then after that, they just couldn't find a way to win a game.
Listen, I am pro making playoffs. I think it's good for these guys. I think it's fun. It's great to watch hockey in late April. I just don't think it's necessary right now.
What, to me, the playoffs?
Yeah.
It's fun because, like, on the surface, I agree. For the long-term health of the Flyers, it's probably a better thing to get the first-round pick for Rasmus Ristolainen. But I'd be lying if I said I wasn't fully erect thinking about Matvey Michkov in the playoffs.
I hear you. I hear you. Who knows? Maybe they could trade him and they still make the
Sure,
playoffs. It's still a possibility.
Sure.
I just think if the opportunity is there, because Ristolainen has like 2 years left on his deal, 3 years, something like
It
that.
might be a year after this, something like
Yeah,
that.
something like
It's a much more easy contract to move now than it was a year or two ago.
Yeah. Obviously, and he's playing well on both ends. So like, I think you do it. I think you get the first round pick if you can, and now you have what 4 first round picks in the draft next year.
Right now they have 3. Yeah.
You'd have potentially 4 first round picks to move up in the draft to get a number 1 center.
So it's 2 years after this one.
Okay, so 2.5 left.
Yep.
I think that they need to identify if they're going to trade for a first line center. So let's say hypothetically, whether they trade Ristolainen or not, whether they get another first round pick or not, I think that they have to decide. They're going to decide whether or not to move up in the draft or move back, whatever, or to trade these picks for a first line center. Right? Like that's probably one of the hardest things to do in sports is in all sports is finding a first line center. Like
Sure.
they don't just teams don't just trade them. So like
Sure.
you have to identify that guy before he becomes it. In a sense, like I kind of feel like,
Yeah.
I just don't know who that is.
I don't know either. But it's their job to figure out who that guy is.
Like hearing we've talked about this guy before, but like obviously Ottawa's been like, in the talks that I've been seeing the last couple of days, weeks, whatever. But like this Pinto guy, like does he look like he could be a first line center? Because his numbers don't look like it.
Yeah, I don't see it, but
again, you're not going to trade for a first line center like that has 40
it's
goals.
currently a first line center, right? Exactly.
Right.
You're not
right,
trading
like,
for Austin Matthews, like
right, or like a 22, 23, 24-year-old who is a first line center for somebody. Like
Right.
they're not trading that guy.
No. You're like you say, you're looking for somebody who can maybe with either a change of scenery or a different line mates or a different coaching that can blossom into a first line center.
Right.
Now, could Pinto? I guess sure. I don't know that I don't know that I think that, but I guess it's not impossible.
Yeah, there was another guy too that was from Ottawa.
Josh Norris?
No, isn't he defenseman?
No, he's a forward center.
Yeah. Doesn't he have like a shitty contract?
Norris? I don't believe so.
No, that's what I thought. I thought I heard that. Maybe it is Norris.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know who you're thinking of. Norris is also a center.
Yeah. What about him? Do you see him?
I like him more than Pinto.
Okay.
Personally,
Do you think he's the first? He could potentially blossom into a.
it's possible. I think he's closer than Pinto.
I don't like that answer.
Well, I don't have a crystal ball. Like I don't know what
I
these
know.
players become.
I guess what I'm asking you is like, do you see the ability there?
More
in-
so
in-
him than Pinto.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. I'm looking him up right now.
Yeah, I like Norris more than Pinto.
Is it just so hard to find like a 6'3", 2A
Yes.
center that
Yes.
gives you 40 goals? Like,
Yeah. Yes. We hope Nolan Patrick is going to be that guy.
yeah. I mean, Norris had a 35 goal season
Yeah.
in 21-22.
Yeah. Norris is a good player.
Okay, so far this year he's got.
He spent time on their first line a lot, but like right now he's probably more suited to it for a second line guy. Like as a second line guy, could he blossom into a good first line center? Yeah, probably.
It looks like he doesn't. He's missed some time in his career though.
Was he the one that got? Was it him or was it Pinto that got busted for like illegal gambling?
I don't know.
I'm
The wrong guy to ask that question to.
it was one of them, and I'm drawing a blank
Last
on who
year
it was.
he played 50 games. He had 30 points. He had 16 goals. The year before he played 8 games. The year before that he played 66, was when he put up 35. He had 55 points.
No, Josh Norris had his third shoulder surgery.
Yeah, that's concerning.
I thought it might have been Shane Pinto that then they got busted for gambling. Yeah, it was Shane Pinto got half season suspension last
And
season.
then 2021, 56 games. He had 17 goals, but that's his first full year.
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
all right.
Yeah, I mean, more than likely you're gonna have to draft somebody and develop one. Like, is Luchenko that guy? Like, I don't know if he's gonna be a first line center.
I think what you had him. I think what you said about him was probably what he's going to be is like a Mike Richards, like
yeah,
a second line center that's going to play on both ends, that's going to get you 50 points a year.
yep,
20, 23 goals. He'll play the second line power play, like he'll play the first PK, like he's going to be that guy, and that's very important for teams.
sure, oh, absolutely.
If that's your second line center, you take that all day.
Yep.
But it's just identifying who could be the first line, I think.
First line center. Hear me out. First line center. Matvey Michkov.
Do you think he could in the NHL?
I don't know, to be honest.
Yeah.
I know, like occasionally they have him taking faceoffs, and he's not terrible at it. Now, obviously, there's more to being center than faceoffs, but
Yeah. I was gonna say I
don't know if his
I
size. I don't know if his size is first line center size, but
well
you cut out. What was that? Now you're quiet. Did you mute yourself? What happened?
no.
Oh, there you go. I can hear you now.
Oh, good.
Yeah, you went out for a second.
I was gonna say, is Crosby like Crosby's like 5'10"?
No, Crosby's bigger than.
No, he's not.
Yes,
Look
he
it up.
is.
Look it up. Look it up.
Crosby's at least 6'1".
Look it up.
I'm looking it up. Hold on. If I type in Sidney Crosby size, am I going to get the right result that I want?
Say height.
5'11". He seems. I don't know why he just seems like he plays bigger. 5'11". You're really quiet again. What happened?
I don't know.
There you go.
All right, I'm just gonna hold it like this then.
Yeah. I don't know what's going on. Over there.
That's what she said. There's a couple like first line centers that I was kind of surprised that they were as small as they were.
I guess it's how you play. Like Crosby just must play bigger than 5'11".
Yeah. I don't know. I think I just think the thing that's gonna change this organization is finding and again, it's not easy to find, but like finding it doesn't have to be 6'3", but like finding a bigger body that can play both ends.
Sure.
That he doesn't
That
even
can
have
fly
to
too.
right, but he doesn't have to be the a 30-goal scorer, 40-goal scorer. You could have that in Mitch Cobb, I think. Like,
Yeah.
I
I want somebody to get Mitch Cobb the puck.
had Ovechkin had Nicholas Backstrom. Nicholas Backstrom was
Sure.
a good player. Like,
Yep.
obviously Ovechkin made him better, but like, I think it's if Couturier was like the idea, right? Like the 6'3", he can't skate fast, but like
No.
6'3", plays both ends. He had 2 or 3 30-goal seasons.
Yeah, he was fine.
He was really good for 3. He was almost great for 3 years.
Yeah, he was. He was.
It's just, it's hard to maintain that.
Yep, especially with the injuries that he's had.
Yeah.
So, all right, you got anything else before we get out of here?
No, that's all I got.
Okay. All right. Well, we're gonna get out of here. Like us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Hopefully, the Birds get another victory on Sunday, and we will see. And go subscribe, Apple Podcasts and Spotify as well. And we will see everybody next Monday. See ya.